What's up, board game people? It's been quite the week and we have a good lineup of news to run through, so let's waste no time getting started. Thank you to my Patreons. You all rock and allow me to stay honest, unfiltered, and unpaid. That is a beautiful thing. Live on crowdfunding now we have Batman Escape from Arkham Asylum on Gamefound with less than a day remaining and sitting just above 600,000 euros. They've expanded this project to the point of bursting, and the all-in price is set at a wallet-crippling 430 euros. Marvel United is sitting at 2.8 million over on Kickstarter, and has incorporated 6 expansions and a ton of add-ons. This project could get expensive really quick. Also on Kickstarter, The Adventures of Dixon is off to a rocky start, sitting at only 25% funded. This horror noir game, filled with paranormal detectives, monster crime bosses, and vampire overlords, looks solid, but it may be asking too high a price. Back on Gamefound, Andromeda's Edge is absolutely tearing it up, with over 1 million in funding and 17 days left in the campaign. This is another heavy hitter, and it looks to be a quality experience for anyone looking for a mid to heavy game for game night. Finally, on Gamefound, we have Witchbound, which has cast a luck spell and hit over 100,000 in funding with 17 days left in the hopper. This game gets better and better with each look and won't magically drain your wallet either. Coming this week, we'll see Stonesaga from OOMM Games launch Tuesday on Kickstarter. Another one I know many are looking forward to is Statera, launching on Gamefound this week. So let's get to that oh-so-great news. Waste Knights is back and they bring good news. First off, many didn't get their pledge manager completed. They'll be reopening the PM and late pledging one last time in mid-February. Any pledges completed or late backers ordering now will get their items with the second wave. Minis, markers, and dice are produced. The reworked playmat is almost through production, and then everything will be shipped to Poland for final assembly and fulfillment. 7 testing groups have been involved testing the expansion, and the From the Depths adventure featuring the Kraken is ready for prime time. Much of the writing is complete in Polish and will need to be translated and checked in English. The expansions come to over 640 pages of type altogether, putting it larger than the core game. For Dungeons Universalis, all eyes are set on production planning. 50% of fees have been paid and the first few files are due at the factory very soon. Over the next 3 months, they'll be sending everything over, and we should start to see snippets of the new material on updates and Facebook. The winner of the Heralds of Dun contest has been announced, and the grand prize goes to Bertil Jacobson for devising a comprehensive system that allows for random adventures to be created with Dun tiles. He'll be getting a copy of the new challenges, as well as the Tiles 2, Standees 2, and a set of assorted Dun items. Finally, they have a survey for backers and future backers to help drive the direction of the Dun universe. Shipping for Aeons End is underway. In the EU, some items are still in transit to the fulfillment center, but what can be sent out is being sent out. In the US, shipping has started. For Canada orders, they'll start to ship in the next few weeks. The rest of the world will see VFI packing the order next week and sending them on to the correct hubs. Corvus Belli has revealed the February releases for Infinity. They're releasing a wide range of miniatures and terrain across the line. These miniatures are spectacular, and if I could paint half as good as this, I'd be playing Infinity too. My personal favorite from these releases is Agamemnon the Atreides. That giant maul looks so sick. We've gotten another beefy update for the Primal the Awakening campaign. Mold production is now complete for all miniatures. Development is proceeding with a team focused on finalizing the rulebook and the campaign book. They still plan to ship the games from China in May. This update, they're showing off the campaign sheet and focusing on the concept of the game truly being an open world with a free approach to completing objectives. Monsters will level up as needed, and most any quest can be played at any time. Currently, there are over 50 scenarios available in the campaign. To allow for greater freedom of choice, contracts have been removed and replaced with achievements. Crafting is a pillar of the game, and new roles have brought new control for the players. Resource management has been somewhat simplified, allowing greater freedom to the crafting system. They discuss leveling up in detail and how the skill trees will flow. Finally, they detail how the campaign system works, the different phases in a chapter, and additional challenges that await skilled players. Arydia the Paths We Dare Tread dropped their first update of the year on the last day of January. Estimated delivery has not changed, and a date has been set for the Pledge Manager closing. The Pledge Manager will close on March 31st, 2023. This update focuses on the work of Kirk Hamilton on the soundtrack for the game. If you want to read more detail on his compositions, check out the update linked in the video description. To cap off the month, they've been able to put together a fully updated prototype and get some serious in-person testing time. There's been a strong focus on organization and indexing to help players find needed components quickly and keep play flowing. Testing has increased the player cube markers, added a permanent slot on the boards for the character skill, the number of RP tokens now scale based on a player count, various changes have been made to balance the economy of the game, tracking monsters for hunt jobs has been rebalanced, and much more. Stonemaier Games has announced Expeditions, the sequel to Scythe. The standalone game will send players to Siberia to a meteorite crash site that's awakened an ancient corruption. Players will compete in a competitive card-driven engine-building game of exploration to uncover hidden artifacts, overcome challenges, and achieve glory where those before have failed. Pre-orders for Expedition are live now and will end on February 22nd, and will ship in July. Expeditions will see a Gen Con release in August and will be available at retail sometime following Gen Con. We've got the first Friday update for Forsaken. The Pledge Manager is now live and many of the hurdles have been overcome. Check the update for common questions and solutions. The project's been progressing, albeit slowly, and they were able to nail the rewrites, updated the starting feat system, did a pass through the encounter outcomes to test how they all come together, and they executed some module and character testing. Like the red-headed stepchild it is, Hell was one of the last of the Mythic projects to get a proper update. If you want the full repeat of the last however many Mythic updates, read it yourself. The gist is, development on Hell has stopped. They'll get to it in their unknown order of projects. They have no clue when you'll see Hell on your table, but likely it won't be until 2024 or later, and the real Hell will have frozen. Oh, and here are a few pictures. Pre-orders have begun for Star Wars Shatterpoint, and the price point is a bit depressing. They're commanding $165 for the core set and releasing 2 squad packs for $50 each and 2 terrain packs for the asking price of $75 each. Maybe I'm cheap, but I was hoping for a cheaper entry point here. For me, I'll just have to wait and find it on sale. Ancient Blood, the Order of Vampire Hunters, has dropped a quick update detailing their development progress and announcing that the web store will soon be available to grab copies of the original game. In development news, they're working on the writing for the campaign stories, and 4 are done, 3 sit at about 80% complete, and the final 2 sit around 50%. Location cards for the core and the Unholy Cloister expansion are complete, and in proofreading. Translations are progressing smoothly. They also shared these great location cards from the game. In SAS Rogue Regiment news, everything is rolling right along. Almost everything on their chart is in layout or pre-production, with a few items ready to print. The Pledge Manager is open and about 80% of you have filled it out. Then to cap it off, they gave us some pictures of Mission 9 and Mission 6. Do you feel that sinking feeling? This month's Kingdom Forlorn update focuses on the Sunken Kingdom of Utrerbon. In the Sunken Kingdom, the bigger you are, the faster you sink. It's time to put aside that heavy armor and focus on equipment to counteract the slimed and drowning conditions. The most insidious of assassins will be the poisoned and toxified conditions you'll encounter here. The Bog Witch, the Wisps, and patrols of First Men all await your arrival. Kingdom Forlorn's next update will feature a deep dive into the progression system, the story system, deep fog, and a map of the Sunken Kingdom. They leave us with a reminder that they just announced Aeon Trespass, 12 Sins of Hercules, which should launch later this year. The Silver Coin Age of Monster Hunters team is back with a new and interesting progression board, complete with legend. A quick glance shows much of the project in development, with a few in testing and negotiation. I love the progress board, but my suggestion is they give a clear explanation of what negotiation is in a future update. The Pledge Manager should make its debut at the very end of this month. They've confirmed an English and French version of the game, and they're working towards the possibility of other languages. They're working with ShipQuest and partners to make sure shipping is solidified ahead of the Pledge Manager opening. Art is coming along nicely for the project, and they've shared an amazing piece that will be featured on the Librarian card. Finally, they've opened a vote for the type of scenario we would like to see added to the final game. Make sure and have your voice heard. The Pledge Manager for Dungeon Crusade will be closing out sometime in the next week or two. Make sure you have those pledges and late backs in before the buzzer. Tamashi, Chronicle of Ascend is development and story complete. Testing is currently in progress and feedback is being incorporated. Nevertheless, development took a bit longer than expected and is requiring more testing. Fulfillment is realistically being pushed back from Q2 to Q3 of this year. They speak a bit about how they're making solo play possible and interesting with an energy-dependent bot that will assist you in your adventure. They detail the scenario generator available for players to play competitively without having to play specific scenarios. It gives quite a bit of freedom to how the game can be set up. Finally, they share some great examples of the card designs and the PU samples of the miniatures. Creative Diary 2 has landed for the Werewolf Apocalypse Retaliation campaign. Approval has been received from Paradox for the narrative campaign breakdown document, and writing is underway. In the combat section, they detail changes to the combat skills system and note that a rulebook will be available for browsing soon. Art direction has begun a readjustment phase to bring art across the project into line for a singular product. Early results are looking quite nice. And finally, we get a further taste of the musical composition for the project. Kingdom Death Monsters dropped their latest update with a giant 352 tiles showdown board front and center. They put together a semi-final prototype of the 3D board where each tile has been separated, and what we're seeing is a spectacular board with some beefy tiles. This is going to be both a nightmare and a pleasure to paint. They will be bringing some of the tiles with them to Gen Con to hand out to visitors that come and visit. Sign me up. We also got a quick look at some digital proofs for the Gambler's Chest and the miniatures and a few AI cards for the Crimson Crocodile. Frosthaven shipping continues forever. In Canada, they sent out 35%. In the US, they still plan to have fulfillment generally complete by mid-February. Mine will be with the last batch sent out for sure. In Europe and the rest of the world, the first of 2 remaining add-on waves has arrived at the warehouses and more orders will ship soon. In the UK, it's much the same as the EU, waiting on add-ons. Oceanic shipments are delayed with add-ons still on the water. In Asia, VFI is coming back from the holidays and will resume shipping shortly. We got the latest from the Robomon campaign as a quick update on Island Adventure. Gabe has been hard at work, and now all the art is done, with 33% of graphic design complete. There are a handful of story moments and some testing needed to close out this portion of development. He could use a little help naming a crab, a lemur, and a chameleon Robomon, so go give him some suggestions. Vampire Chapters inches closer to actual fulfillment. They've reprinted the Chapter 13 booklets minus the German pages and have added these to the game boxes. The games are ready to be packed onto a ship, and that should happen in the next 2 weeks. Chapters has more than 15 SKUs and is a worldwide delivery. They're working hard to do things right. The Chapters website has been updated with 2 new categories, errata and an FAQ section. Do you smell that? No, not what the rock is cooking. It's the sweet stench of Atmosfear getting ready to dock in a port near you. Within weeks, the game should be on the way to hubs, then on the way to haunt your tables and your dreams, or shall we say, nightmares. The Pledge Manager is officially on the horizon for Sea of Legends Vengeance of Empires. A Backerkit survey will make its way to you shortly, and you'll have a chance to upgrade or modify your pledge to your heart's content. Shipping costs should be in the PM correctly. Their shipping partners have a minimum price for shipping, and the cost of shipping the update kit is sadly higher than they wanted. They're offering a print-and-play solution for anyone not wanting to pay higher shipping on just the update kit. Some factory samples have hit their decks, and they're showing off one of the Sea Coven miniatures in clear blue plastic. Everyone who upgrades their pledge from a level that will include the base game or either expansion will be getting the Legendary Rewards Pack for free. Finally, the update kit comes fully equipped with new and revised cards and rulebooks. If you're getting a new base game through the campaign, you will not need the update kit. After a ton of effort to get the absolute best shipping rates, the Earth Under Siege Flashpoint team has added them to the Pledge Manager. The Pledge Manager will close out on March 1st, so make sure and get your shipping paid and pledges locked in. This update, they're giving us a peek at the Resin Masters for a few more minis, and they only have 1 miniature left to make alterations to. We should be seeing the Mind Killer soon. We also got a look at some of the tiles from the World Killer expansion. These are a set of outdoor tiles, and a few examples of the missions that we'll be running. The rulebook is getting final touches and will be shared in the next update. They also detail how squad members can be used, if wanted, to fill out your party of less than 4. Currently, they're looking at fall for fulfillment and hope to have more accurate dates once the miniature molds are completed. Finally, they reposted the now proofread translation of the German rulebook. Vampire Masquerade's Milan Uprising put out an update this week with a follower survey asking opinions and demographic info to help them continue forward with Milan Uprising and future Tabaru development. There were some specific questions about other World of Darkness titles in the survey that led me to believe that their partnership is going well and may lead to even more great games hitting the system. Go give them your opinions. So that's going to be a wrap on the news for this week. Hopefully I didn't miss anything, but if I did, let me know in the comments. If you happen to have some spare change laying around and would like to support the channel, consider becoming a member of our Patreon. You'll find a link in the video description, and every dollar will help us get closer to being able to buy some new gear and expand our coverage. Thank you to everyone watching and commenting. Have a great week and strap in because it's going to be a wild ride.